Her hands trembled as she stared at the deep scratch across the sleek red surface of a stranger's $200,000 sports car. A quiet street, no one around, until a shadow loomed behind her. Her heart stopped, the owner, tall, silent, staring at the damage. She mumbled an apology, bracing for yelling, maybe worse. But instead he just looked at her and asked a single question that made her knees buckle. "Are you okay?" In that moment, something cracked, not just the paint, but a hidden layer of pain neither of them saw coming. What kind of person shows grace when fury is justified? Lena was a single mother in her late 30s, worn thin by life's relentless demands. She juggled 2 jobs, one at a local diner, the other cleaning offices at night, just to keep a roof over her head and food on the table for her 6-year-old son, Max. Every day was a battle against exhaustion, both emotional and financial. Her burdens were silent, invisible to those around her, but heavy enough to weigh down her spirit. Her mornings blurred into one another, a frantic rush to get Max ready for school, a quick breakfast grabbed between sips of cold coffee, and then out the door before the day could catch up to her. The world around Lena was a dull shade of grey, mirroring her own drained energy and faded hope. She felt like a ghost, unnoticed and unappreciated, trapped in a cycle she desperately wanted to break free from. One stressful afternoon, after a long shift, Lena headed to the grocery store to pick up essentials for the week. Max clung to her, hand tired but cheerful, unaware of the storm cloud hanging over his mother. Parking was a nightmare, but Lena finally spotted a tiny spot squeezed between 2 sleek luxury cars. She hesitated, knowing how tight it was, but the clock was ticking, and she was already late. With a deep breath, she maneuvered the car in. Just as she opened the door, a sharp, scraping sound sliced through the quiet. Her heart sank. Her door had grazed the side of the shiny sports car beside her. Time seemed to slow, and Lena froze, caught between panic and regret. Lena's breath caught in her throat. Her eyes darted to the scratch, a deep, unmistakable gash along the side of the sleek, expensive car. It wasn't small, it wasn't something that could be ignored. A wave of emotions crashed into her. Guilt, shame, fear. Her mind raced. Should she leave a note, apologize, or should she just walk away and pretend it never happened? Her thoughts spiraled. Faces from her past flickered through her mind, a different version of herself, once full of laughter and love. She remembered the way her husband used to calm her down with a quiet word or a reassuring touch. Life, had Tina felt stable then, possible, even beautiful. But tragedy came without warning. His sudden death shattered that world. There was no pause, no grace period. Life kept demanding rent, school fees, shifts at work. And she kept going, one breath at a time. Now even a scratch like this felt impossible. She didn't have the money to fix it. Her hands trembled. Key stood beside her, clutching her coat sleeve. He looked up at her, eyes wide with concern. "Are we in trouble, Mommy?" he asked softly. The innocence in his voice broke something inside her. Then a voice, firm and sudden. "Is that your car?" She turned. A man stood a few feet away, mid-40s, sharply dressed, his expression unreadable. Lena felt her stomach twist. Her pulse roared in her ears. The world narrowed to this one moment. She nodded slowly, unable to speak. Her throat was dry. Silence. She braced herself, every muscle tense, expecting anger, confrontation, humiliation. Her chest rose and fell with shallow, shaky breaths. This was the kind of moment that could unravel everything: her day, her dignity, the fragile control she still had over her life. And yet, she stood there, waiting for the storm. Instead of anger or shouting, the man's voice softened unexpectedly. "You okay? You look like you've had a rough day." His words caught Lena off guard. She blinked, stunned by the sudden kindness in a moment she had feared would explode. With rage, the man, who introduced himself as Derek, noticed the fear in Max's eyes and the trembling in Lena's hands. Gently, he knelt down to Max's level, smiling warmly. His calm presence seemed to diffuse the tension instantly. Max's grip on Lena's coat loosened as the stranger spoke quietly to him, asking about his favorite games and cartoons. The anxiety in the small boy's face began to fade. Derek then shared something personal. The car she had scratched was a gift from his brother, who had passed away just a year ago. Today was the anniversary of his brother's death, which was why Derek had come to this spot. His voice was quiet, but filled with a deep sadness that Lena could feel in her bones. They both sat on the curb, side by side, silence stretching between them, not awkward, but heavy with unspoken grief. Two strangers connected by loss, both carrying invisible scars. After a long pause, Derek said something that stuck with Lena. "Things can be fixed, cars, buildings, even broken things around us, but people, that's harder." His words hit her with surprising clarity. He told her not to worry about the car. What he saw was more important than a scratch, her spirit, worn and weary. Instead of anger, he offered empathy. Before leaving, Derek handed her a card. "If you ever need work or any kind of help, I run a small local business. You seem like someone who never gets a break." The kindness in his offer felt like a lifeline in Lena's stormy world, a small spark of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. Lena finally broke down. Tears streamed down her face, not just because of the scratch on the car, but because of the heavy burden she had carried silently for years. No one had truly seen her pain in so long. Those tears were a release of all, the loneliness, exhaustion, and heartache she had been holding inside. She whispered, "No one's ever been this kind to me. Not in a long time." Her voice trembled with a mix of vulnerability and relief. Derek simply nodded, his expression gentle. "Maybe we're all just trying to survive things no one else sees." His words carried a quiet truth that resonated deeply within her. As they parted ways, her son Max waved shyly at Derek. It was a silent moment, but one filled with meaning, an unspoken connection forged between strangers through kindness and understanding. For Lena, it wasn't just about forgiveness or the scratched car. It was about finally feeling seen, acknowledged, and understood. This rare moment of human grace shifted something inside her, lighting a spark of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. She watched as the sports car slowly drove away, the scratch still visible on its side. But what was far more important was, restored within her, that fragile but powerful faith in people, in kindness, and in the possibility of a better tomorrow. Lena didn't just leave the parking lot with her guilt lifted, she walked away, transformed. One simple act of kindness shattered the story she'd been telling herself for years, that she didn't matter. Sometimes the deepest wounds are the ones we carry inside, and sometimes all it takes is a stranger choosing understanding over anger. That day, she didn't just meet a car owner, she met a mirror, a moment, a lesson. Humanity isn't about guarding what's ours. It's about how we respond when things go wrong. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs a reminder. That kindness still exists in this world. Subscribe for more real, emotional stories that stay with you forever.